Join us each week for some booze-free banter about life without booze.
If you're entertaining the idea of cutting back your booze by a day, a week, a month, or for the rest of your life, we would love for you to tune in.
Buckle up and come along for a ride that may just change your life. Just a heads up, some of our conversations we have may be triggering for some. Reach out to your local resource support centre. If you're in Australia, that's Lifeline 131114.
Stevie Wonder's in the house.
Stevie Wonder is in the house.
You're a little bit Audrey Hepburn today.
I just need a pearl necklace, don't I?
Yeah.
Oh, Maso.
Breeza, mate, how are you?
Well, yeah, there's a bit of a story to go with these sunglasses I'm wearing.
Don't wear your sunglasses at night. Is that song?
No, I don't know it.
Oh, cut that then. Mate, what's happened?
Oh, look, I find it ironic that we're doing a podcast about injuries on the gas and I've injured myself sober. I've hit my noggin pretty bad. So we're recording this, just for our listeners, we are recording this towards the end of December so that you guys have content throughout the holiday period, because we are going to be having a little break, but we want to still have our weekly episodes. So last weekend I was wakeboarding and had a bit of a stack, which is not uncommon, but I must have done a bit of a number on myself because the next morning I woke up and my head was nearly spinning off my shoulders, and I went to the doctors and he said I had delayed concussion. So it's pretty awful. I've never been concussed before, and I've had to cancel everything this week. I was going to Darwin towards the end of December. That's been cancelled, and it's just a slow and steady kind of recovery. So not being able to be on screens much, TV, just all that. And that's quite hard because I obviously work in social media. So I'm actually not looking at the screen today, Maso. I'm actually looking at the corner. Yeah, if anyone's had concussion, you can empathise with me. It's not nice at all. It's really not nice. It feels like I've been on a 3-day bender and like it's 24 hours after, and you get that real fogginess and just it's yucky. It's really hard to describe, but you've just got to take it easy. And I don't really do, sitting still very well. So it's been quite tough, I've got to say.
Yes, mate. Goodness me, you poor possum. For you who's such a busy bee and on the go, it's a massive deal for you to have to rein it in and just stop and be off your screen when it's your career.
Yeah, and I think because one of our friends who you know, Maso, she has what's called post-concussion syndrome, and that's been going on for quite a few years now. And so I'd sort of, I've seen what she's been through, and so I'm like, right, I need to and even the doctor said to me, he goes, you need to over-treat this to get it right instead of under-treating it. So I'm, following doctor's orders and taking it easy. But, that's me. Good times. And, I mean, it's never a good timing to get concussion, but I got it right at the busiest time of the year because it was my last week of work, and that's all gone out the window, so I'm having to work in the holidays. But anyway, here I am. Thank you for all your support, Maso, in that week that I was, down and out. You did my socials on iFlawn AF Drinks, and there was a lot going on that week. There was a lot happening with media, actually.
So much going on. Congratulations. So I've got a couple of things to touch on that. I have actually had delayed concussion too. I came unstuck, fell off my horse once.
Oh, yeah.
Fell on my head. I had a helmet on, but, didn't get the delayed concussion till the next day. So I understand this feeling that you're feeling. Shocking, terrifying of how, serious it can be. And obviously with having our close friend experiencing that, it can be really confronting of what could happen potentially, but I think so lucky to know that you will come through the other side of it, and it just makes you really appreciate good health, doesn't it? And
100%. Health is your, what is it? Health is your wealth.
Health is your wealth. And talking about the busy week you've had, thanks for trusting me with iFlawn AF Drinks.
Anytime, mate.
Busted in with the password. But congratulations, Breeza has been busy as a bee all over ABC. Articles, ABC Daily, ABC BBC Tamworth, so New England, and ABC Brisbane. She was interviewed on both radio stations and had an article and just went boomtown. We're so proud of you, Breeza.
It's so nice that mainstream media are giving it airtime, like alcohol-free drinks airtime. And I've had lots of nice messages from people over that week as well, and people saying, like even people who have had health scares themselves and can no longer drink alcohol, and they've said, you know, your page has been really helpful for that. So that's awesome. Like, yeah, I've had so many great people reach out to me. So I love getting those messages.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You deserve it. And you speak so well. You're an absolute pro in your field. And if you do want to check out that article and that interview, just have a look on at Booze Free Bants on our Instagram page. You'll see it there.
Now tell me, Maso, I'm looking at the screen now and I can see some new drinky poos in the background.
I know. Have a look at this. Liars have been so amazingly generous and gifted us all of this. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, Liars. So we've got the 4 packs of ready to drink. So the Aperol Spritz, the G&T, and the Classico. I say Classico because it's like Prosecco. So it is. It's just like Prosecco. So they're ready to drink. Then they've sent us 3 bottles of spirits, the Aperitif Rosso, the Dry London Spirit, and the Italian Orange, which is for your Aperol Spritz. And they've won awards for these. We're in gold medal company here.
100%. They won awards in the IWSC Wine and Spirits Awards, and it was the and I'm gonna butcher this. How do I say the
aperitif?
Yeah, that one. Rosso. They won. They won. They got 95 points and were awarded with a gold medal.
This guy.
Yeah. So how good is that?
Please, everyone, stand.
And you can buy, well, it depends what your Woolies stock, but I know my local Woolies stock some of the Liars range. So, yeah, you can get it just at your local supermarket, and they're an Aussie brand.
Yeah, go Aussies. Come on, Aussies. Yeah.
They've gone gangbusters. They're in, I don't know how many countries they're in, but they're in a lot of countries.
Yeah, they've gone right off, and they're just so thank you so much, Liars. We are absolutely thrilled with that. Incredibly generous, and just, thank you.
Thank you so much. Tell me about your week, Maso. It's been all about me.
Well, that's massive. That's my week. But I will tell you something really cute that did happen this week. We're talking about paying it forward. So when I was walking the dogs the other day along the Esplanade, it was really early in the morning. There was no one else around, and this is a bit gross, but I had 2 dogs with me, but there was a massive big dog poo in the middle of the Esplanade, just like where everyone's going to walk. Someone was going to walk over it. I walked past it, and then I thought, I can't leave that there. That's going to absolutely ruin someone's day. So I went back and picked it up, obviously with my little poo bag. So I picked up someone else's dog poo, which is a bit, for some people, they'll be like, oh, that's disgusting. Other people are like, good on you. That's so good, because I find it really embarrassing stepping in dog poo. It smells disgusting. Ever. Yeah. So I saved the day for everybody else. Anyway, it paid it forward for me. I was down at another beach just the other day with Rocky and parked in the car park. This couple drove up. I thought, ooh, weirdos, what do they want? Wound down the window, and he said, here you go, here's a parking ticket. There's not much time left on it. You can have it. There was an hour left on it, which is all I needed.
Love that. Poo for parking.
Isn't that nice? And then another lady, when I was down at the beach, the waves are too big and Rocky wouldn't go in and fetch the ball. He was terrified. And I could have gone in, but I was like, oh, that's actually chest height. Like, that's a bit too far. But I was just waiting for the waves to hopefully get the ball back in. This other lady, there was only about 2 people at the beach. This lady who was like 50 metres away was watching me watch this ball, thinking, what is she doing? Anyway, she waded over and went over and picked the ball and threw it to me, so I didn't have to go in the water.
That's a double. It's a double.
Double hit poo. So take out there is pick up someone's poo and someone paid forward. You gotta have shame on it. Shame on it.
Look, I had a few shame stories I was grappling with, but I've pulled out one that happened, it was probably 10-ish years ago. So I jumped on board it was a beauty expo that was happening in Sydney, and my friend had a beauty salon. So she's like, we're going up to, Sydney for this beauty expo. Do you want to come? I'm like, sure, no worries. So I jumped on board, and this was a two-night event. So, she had a business. Her business partner was there, and her business partner's husband was there also. So the four of us stayed. We stayed right near the Sydney Opera House. Anyway, in a great spot in Sydney. So anyway, the first night we just all plonked at the apartment that we had. We had a nice balcony and stuff, and just ripped into it. And, got absolutely toasted. And we must have had pizza for dinner. So it was me and my friend, we were starting to carry on a fair bit. Her business partner was a bit older. So anyway, we was carrying on like pork chops. And then we decided it would be a good idea to start launching the pizza slices off the balcony into people walking down the street below. So we did that, but that got cut short by her business partner's husband. As I mentioned, they were a bit older. So we're like, okay, we'll stop. So we went to bed, had a massive night, but went to bed. The next day, woke up and had to go to this beauty expo. So I had to walk around. Breeza was under the weather massively. I was no good Robbo at all. So I was walking around, no good Robbo. I was walking around the expo and I was like, oh, I need to vomit. So I raced to the toilet, and, beauty expos are filled with pretty glamorous kind of chicks. I was like a full just wash bag Darrow. Ran into the toilets, did a power spew, walked around for a bit more, scratching my head. I'm like, oh, sorry, girls, I've got to go. I've got to check out. I can't do this anymore. So I peeled off and went back to the hotel room for a little nap. And I don't know, and I didn't actually Google this before we recorded this, Maso, but does the monorail still exist in Sydney? It's got like a monorail. So I jumped on the monorail back to the hotel, and I'm still under weather. I'm still crook as a dog, and I was like starting to sweat bullets. When you're that hungry, you're sweating, you're just a sticky mess. So that's where I was. Yeah. Anyway, had to do another spew on monorail. So I had a bottle of Mount Franklin and tried to spew into that. And do you know how like small like the bottle top is, like to get it in? So I think I got some in my handbag, in the bottle as well as in the handbag. Chucked the bottle in my handbag, jumped off, and then went to sleep for the afternoon. Missed that night. There was like an event on that night, like an awards ceremony for all the beauty salons. Missed that. Just stayed in bed, and kind of ruined my whole weekend by just one massive night. That was my weekend in Sydney. Written off.
At least you were trying to keep the spew contained. Like,
I was. It was bloody hard.
Made an effort. Oh,
what a rat!
Oh, what a rat! Oh Lord! And isn't that like you wouldn't have done that?
No, I would have had a wow of a time, like flitting around Sydney. Otherwise, I would have. I know the girls went shopping as well. I couldn't go shopping. I was just a mess.
Yeah, went to Sydney to get hungover.
Yeah,
like isn't that? Yes, throw pizza at people.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. Sorry if I hit you with a piece of pepperoni pizza.
Sorry if you got a bit of a wine in your eye. All right. So went with a bunch of friends down to a festival down Ballerina Peninsula. What's it? Florence and the Machine were playing. So good.
Headline act, good one.
Yep, cracker. Rosé was the flavour of the day, just bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles of rosé. It was so good. One of the girls actually, you know how you've always got like one girl in the crowd who's like really prepared, brings her like picnic bag or picnic rug. Oh, love that. And I know you're listening, so thank you, my love. Anyway, would go to the bar, and you know how you could only buy, minimum drinks at the time, but because you had this picnic bag, we could all buy one each and then put in the pit. There was like 6 bottles at a time. Like we're just putting in. It was just brilliant. And rosé all day. That's a wonderful quote, but realistically, not great all day.
No, it ends up in tears. Yeah, something's gone downhill.
I couldn't even. I don't remember anything about Florence and the Machine at all. Anyway, but kick on. We stayed at this really beautiful, like amazing pad down in Geelong, and it even had a lift in it, like this sort of man's penthouse. It was so good. Anyway, Sunday rolls around and we're back on the gas again, obviously more rosé. We'd gone to a winery. We ended up at another, I can't remember what the venue. So I can't even remember. I can't even tell you this story because I can't even remember anything. But I know I could show you the photos. It was good. Anyway, kicked on, great times, lovely, wonderful, just blind. And then I think I don't know what time it was on the Sunday or Monday morning. I woke up on the carpet outside one of the rooms in my own vomit with one of the girls saying, Maso, you all right? Like, yeah. Hideous. Horrendous. Yeah, it was so bad. I'm still horrified to this day. Obviously, I poisoned my body that hard with drinking so much wine. It was never going to go well. Your body's trying to process that, and it just said, no, you poisoned me, get it out. I don't even remember getting up. I'd woken up in this massive pile of vomit on the carpet in the hallway with one of these gorgeous girls who was a friend of, and what a disgrace. I was so...
And that whole vomiting thing, like, scares the crap out of me when you're, like, off your tits.
Yeah.
And then you vomit, which you could choke on.
Yes, which has happened, which is part of our conversation today of near misses. So, yeah, here to tell the tale, but as we say, Breeza, wouldn't have happened if we weren't hammered.
Wouldn't have happened if we weren't hammered.
We're a bit solemn about that today with you with your head knock. Yeah. So, and do you know what? I think I remember next day just being so shaky and horrified. I would have hit the thought, like, I just needed another drink to take that edge off because I was just shattered. And that's, I think,
it's a vicious cycle.
Constant. So, yeah, thank God I'm off the gas. Thank God. Yeah. What are we talking about today, Breeza?
Well, we are talking about injuries that are caused by being on the gas.
Injuries and near misses.
Injuries and near misses. How many times do you look back and go, I could have died, or that could have been worse, or that could have ended differently?
100%, mate. Listen to this. Got one for you. So over 5.2 million people die worldwide each year due to alcohol-related injuries. 3.2% of all deaths are caused by alcohol. How's that? Globally, the poorest countries experience 90% of all alcohol-related injuries that lead to death. In the US, alcohol-related injury is the third leading cause of preventable death.
Holy moly.
Isn't that off its tits?
Off its tits, yeah. There's some startling facts right there, Maso.
That's crook, isn't it?
It is crook. I actually pulled out a couple too.
What do you got?
Stand by.
Yeah, we're all stats up today.
Yes, we've done our research. So although this is not that up to date, I couldn't find some like recent stats. However, I found, so this is regarding hospitalizations.
Oh, yes.
In Australia. So it says, and this, I'm just going to read out the website. I'm going to lose my page now. Hang on. I'll come back to that. So hospitalizations. The number of hospitalizations in Australia with a drug-related principal diagnosis of alcohol use increased from around 65,700 that was 2014/15 to 75,800 in 2018/2019.
Oh,
75,000.
What?
And then it goes on to say alcohol misuse was estimated to cost Australia around 14 billion in 2010. Followed by traffic accidents of 3.7 billion, the criminal justice system 2.9 billion, and cost to the health system 1.7 billion.
Jesus,
there's a lot of zeros in that, isn't there?
It's a lot of billions. Goodness me.
What are we doing?
I know, exactly. Is alcohol? Why do we even drink this stuff? It's just bad news.
The book I read recently was Jill Stark's High Sobriety book, which she wrote in 2013, I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to read you a quick few stats out of this one as well. So it says, early this year, a Turning Point Alcohol and Drug Centre report revealed that alcohol-related domestic violence in Victoria, so that's the state of Australia for our overseas listeners, jumped 15% between 2008 and 2009. In 31% of all cases attended by police, alcohol was a definite factor in the family violence. That's more than 10,300 incidents. And it says 8 out of the 10 victims were women. And I'll wrap it up with one other quick stat, Maso, because I know you're itching at the bit to say stuff. Sorry.
No, get amongst it. Not at all. I'm here for it. It's intriguing and fascinating.
So this is another one that blew my mind. A 2007 study from the National Drug Research Institute showed that every new bottle shop opened in a rural area would lead to 32 assaults, and each new pub in the metropolitan locations would spark 17 domestic violence cases.
Wow.
Now, I'm not here to bag out pubs because I love pubs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm certainly not bagging out, new pubs and, pubs that we attend, because the other side of pubs is that they are a community for some people as well. Like, if we people who are on their own, it's their ritual to go to a pub. It might be every day to see, the publican and to see a couple of the barflies. It really has that sense of community as well. So I'm not poo-pooing pubs, but I just found those stats really full on.
Yeah, that correlation and pattern between this has kicked off, and that is kicking off. But it's not the pubs. It's not the pub's fault.
No, it comes down to individuals at the end of the day, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. It's really, I was saying before, I find it fascinating, intriguing, but as equally hard.
Equally what?
Equally, I was going to swear. I was going to say equally, equally beep.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Have you ended up in hospital, Maso?
No, I haven't, but I've definitely thought I should have. Should have, mate. I should have, which I'll take you back to. Have you?
Well, only that story I told last week, which was the I don't even know what episode I was talking about that, the breaking of the arm.
Oh, yes.
Which happened the day after, like a big session.
Yes, but no overnight stay.
No.
Just a bit of a patch up, as I did with the injection to stop me spewing. Yeah, right.
Yes.
See, like even that's just dumb.
Yeah, and we're like taking up people's time because of booze, where they could be treating people that,
Yeah.
need it more than us.
Mate, I definitely look at back, and there's a particular occasion I was at Glastonbury, and as you can imagine, there was a lot of mind-altering substances happening at that time, and there was 2 times in my time in the UK, and it's not something I'm proud of by any means, but I definitely should have overdosed, and I wonder how far people take it to OD when I was in real strife, like serious trouble.
Did you have people around you, mate?
Yeah, I did. And they were really good as well. But I just think how far do people push it to end up ODing, and with cocktail of drugs and alcohol, no sleep, days and days and days, no water, no food, just going for it.
Punishing your body.
Absolutely punishing your body with whatever,
get your hands on.
Yes, and then more, It's, good times. Don't remember much, but, yeah, it was pretty frightening. It's pretty silly.
One of my probably worst near misses was, I think it was 1997, 98. You remember, obviously, the iconic Australian show Hey Hey It's Saturday? Yeah. So for our overseas listeners, Hey Hey It's Saturday was like a family entertainment show every Saturday night. It was from, I think, 6:30 till 8:30.
Yep.
So it was their very last filming of it. So I reckon it had to be around the late 90s. So my friends and I, we had a party down in Melbourne at one of my friends' houses. And so there's a group of, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 of us. And then we decided to go into the city to go out. And I was walking along and like blind out of my head, and walking along, across the road, got hit by a car.
Oh!
Hit by a car, mate. And I can tell you now the make and model, it was a brown Datsun 180B. Like, you can't get much more classic Australian car than a DATO.
The DATO. Oh.
And so I sort of, rolled over the bonnet and must have bounced up. And the poor driver, he was absolutely mortified. He got out of the car and he was going, "Oh my God, are you okay?" He probably didn't know how drunk I was. And all I was worried about is I had a new skirt on. And all I was worried about is if my skirt was okay. They didn't put a hole in it. I got a corky on my thigh. Like I did, I got a good bruise. But apart from that, it was all okay. But he was probably more damaged than I was because he was so shocked that I had, that he'd hit me. Like, what a shock that would be for a driver. You hit someone.
How
So that
terrifying.
that was a bit of a doozy. And the other one that I still carry to this day is chipping my tooth on a bottle of Passion Pop when I was 16. So I've still got that. I still got that chip. It's too small to fix, I think. Like, it's just real. What are you poking your nose? What are you doing to your nose?
I know. I'm like, you're touching your tooth and I'm touching my tooth. I don't know.
So that was I've still got the chip. Bottle of Passion Pop.
Passion Pop got ya.
Yeah.
Whoa, mate! How fast was that 180B going? Do you reckon?
Don't know, mate. I reckon he was coming up, like he was at a traffic light, but you know how you can turn? You can turn.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I don't know if I was in the wrong, I still don't know if there was a pedestrian, like a zebra crossing there. That story still gets told a fair bit, actually.
Yeah, right.
But in saying that, I've also had sober accidents where I've said to my friends, I should have been drinking. There was one time. There was one time when I met a friend. I was down the beach and one of my friends was passing through. So we met at a cafe and had one glass of wine.
Yeah.
Walked back to the house and I just came a cropper on this hole and rolled my ankle, something shocking. It was so bad. And any time I'd tell the story to someone, like I was out, like I had to, Dr. ABC, or was it Dr. Ricer, rest ice compression, all that sort of jazz. I had all that going on.
Yeah.
And every time I told the story to someone, I said to them, I should have had more, I should have been drinking.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
I know. It's a classic thing, isn't it? Because we turn into Gumby. We're like a big rubbery, bouncy, just all limber.
Totally.
Just, sort of if we fall down, we just like fall rather than trying to brace.
Yes. And
so
you just
it's a brace that just,
It's a brace that makes you sort of get all buckled up, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, mate. Oh, talking about you breaking your arm in the UK, we'd gone to you know how there's a World Cup? Did you get into the World Cup much over there? Yeah, loved it.
Absolutely.
Yep. You might have been with us, actually. I don't know.
That's a rugby one. Yeah, I was actually living in Germany at the time when it was on, and so all the Poms over in Germany were loving life.
Yeah.
So I was getting amongst it.
Getting amongst it. Couldn't tell you who was playing, but we the girls and I went to, I think we were at Covent Garden walkabout, and then we'd gone to Shabu walkabout, and just going right off there on the snake bites. Remember? Did you get into snake bites?
Oh God, yeah. When I came back to Australia, I was still drinking them.
Yes. For those of you that don't know what a snake bite is, it's UK pint, half cider, half beer, and then they pour a little S in the top with Ribena or a blackcurrant cordial. Really good on a Sunday.
Oh, on a Sunday, yeah.
At the Redback in Acton. How good. So anyway, we were well and truly hosed. Walked across the road. There was little work like a work area, what's am I calling it? Like a little construction site just across the road, but it wasn't really it was very cash. And there was a bit of wood, a bit of plywood, probably the size of, I don't know, a single bed, I guess. And it was kind of up on a bit of a mound of dirt. And so it looked like a seesaw. It was perfect. So Carly hops on one side and I hop on the other to do like a seesaw. I jumped up and I think she might have jumped up. And when you're on the trampoline, you do double bounce.
Yes.
So I've double bounced her off this bit of ply. She went flying. I don't know whether she broke her foot that day or whether she broke her foot at the Slug and Lettuce like a week later. Can't be sure of those details. But hopped on a double-decker bus to go. Maybe we were going to Covent Garden after that. I was on the always hop up the top. Did you always ride high? Were you always?
I can't remember. Probably. Yeah, probably.
Bus got to be up top. Walking down the stairs. Didn't even walk down the stairs. I fell from the top to the bottom when we put on the brake, and I smashed my hand into the rail, right at the bottom. Didn't think much of it. Blind just carried on for the rest as the days and weeks progressed later. Mm-hmm. It's puffed up, massive. Yeah. Went to the doctor and it was broken. I had a little break, but as you just soldier on. Yeah. It didn't end up. It was too late to try and get it in a cast or anything. But yeah, it was. If you've had a broken bone, how painful it is in the cold. on cold days, like it really aches. So, yeah, double-decker bus.
And don't you reckon, Maso, like back in the day, you'd retell your injuries like a real heroic story?
Yeah.
Don't you reckon?
Yeah.
You'd really be like, I was blind and this happened. But no, it's not heroic.
It's not. And I lost my phone that night too. I remember I was at like...
How many phones have you lost in your drinking career?
2, which isn't too bad, but both blind. Both absolutely legless. But yeah.
It's funny the timing of this recording, because this week I was talking to a friend and he had been to a Christmas party. And he got an Uber home, and like our good friend Nat from the Mindful Mocktail, he was feeling a bit spewsy in the. Oh, did I say taxi? It was an Uber. He was feeling a bit spewsy in the Uber, so he opened the door just in the nick of time and vomited everywhere. And he lost his he's got like a fake tooth, like a plate with a tooth. Lost his front tooth somewhere in either this vomit or the Uber. So he's had to rock around for a few days with just rocking one tooth. Got gappy with his front tooth. And then there's that flow-on effect, like when you do an injury or have a mishap when you're on the gas. You then, like, he had to then go to his dentist. He had to then pay more money. He had to then take time off work. He had the shame of walking around like with a one-tooth wonder. And there's all that wrapped around it. And, you know, this episode is dropping, I think it's on the 10th of January. And I was actually thinking about this the other day, thinking some people are going back to work for the first time after the Christmas break and possibly after they've, you know, had a Christmas bender at their work breakup. So there's a lot of shame also wrapped around injuries.
Yeah.
That occur when you're on the piss.
Yes, and facing people the next day.
And I think the older you get, the worse that shame is.
Yes, because you should know better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then all the bruises, like I'm a bruiser anyway. Like I bruise really easily.
Same.
Do you, mate?
Yes. I'm like a haemophiliac. Like I look like I've been bashed. Like bruise it up.
Yeah, I get bruisey real easy. So it was like it would be a given that any time I was on the piss, there would probably be a random bruise the next day. Like I've walked into a tree, or I've done, you know, I've just knocked my knee on a table when I've been blind, just something like that.
Yes. Oh, same. And it's like, I was running with, did you go to running the bulls? Did you go to?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I reckon I went the year you went, because you ran, you mad snake.
I did. Well, I'd been the year before, and the guys that I was with the year before, they were all real pumped, and I was like, I want what they've got. You know, I wanted that adrenaline rush. Yeah. And anyway, so all of us girls went the next year, and no other girls were keen to run.
Maso flew the flag.
It's probably a pretty good point when no one else is doing it. Prob's not a great idea, is it? But anyway.
Did you tuck into some like booze beforehand?
Yeah, sangria was like, and it would have been like flowing from, actually that's the best street party we've been to, is the opening day of Pamps. But anyway, so Pamplona running in the bulls. First day I went, actually, I didn't have any bulls run past me, so I was like, well, that's pointless. I didn't get the full effect. So propped up the next day. I think I was with Donnie, actually. Anyway, bulls are coming. What they do is they let out like sort of friendly-ish heifers first, that the little maddies follow them after. So, you know, little black ones that are real mean with the they kind of let these gentle heifers that have got like cowbells on, just, you know, friendly cow. Just
little warning, the mad seas are coming.
Exactly. So anyway, so you can feel
whereabouts on the track, like whereabouts on the course where you would you say?
I would have been probably, good couple of 100 metres out, like through so there was a good little dash to get through. So so the bulls are coming. Everyone's starting to run a little bit faster. But these couple of bulls ran past, and then the bulls run through into the stadium, like under a little tunnel to get into the stadium. In that little area, in that tunnel, I tripped over someone who was already on the ground, who was on top of someone who was already on the ground, and balls are coming. I'm getting trampled on as well. I'm getting run over the top of, like people are running over the top of me. And at that point I thought, you bloody idiot. No one is stopping to help you. You need to get yourself out of this. So like I scrambled up, like just like got myself up and then peeled off into the arena. Looked at my hands. There was just bark off everywhere. Knees were bleeding. I was just like absolutely terrified. Like what? That was not the adrenaline rush I was looking for. That I would get.
You were
like, it was actually, I was terrified. I was like, that was actually really stupid. Glad to be able to tell the tale now. But and then obviously the rest of the time in Europe, I couldn't, swim because my hands are all cut up, and just blind. And I probably wouldn't have even done that had I been sober anyway. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like,
When
you're gassed, you just get your Dutch courage.
And wasn't there like people that die?
Yeah, every year every year people die. There was actually, it was a bit silly. There was a girl who got done by, I think she was okay, but she was a redheaded Aussie chick who might have got stung by a bull. And obviously that message goes back home to Australia, and so obviously they thought it was me as well.
Oh no.
Just stupid.
And I remember after that, and you might be able to fill in the gaps, Maso, obviously there's like a big celebration.
Yeah.
But is it there where you've got to climb that tower and you fall off it?
Yes. And it's
an Aussie thing, like it's an Aussie Kiwi kind of thing, isn't it?
Yes. Donnie jumped up there and it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. I can't even everyone's absolutely off their tits, aren't they?
Yeah. So they climb this. It's actually really, really crook. It's right in the centre, and I'm trying to think of what it's called.
I remember seeing it when I was there, but there's no way, no matter how drunk I was not going to get up there, because the fact that you could, just smash straight onto the concrete.
Yeah, straight.
And people have to catch you, don't they? I think.
Yeah, they catch you. So you've got to they climb up this big
like a totem
sort of thing, like this big centre, big concrete pole.
Yeah.
And they've got to climb up there, and then they whoever gets up there first will tie scarves around it, the red scarves, and then people will just jump off it. But you've got to jump, so you've got to land flat like a belly whacker and trust the people underneath to catch you. And so blind. But when people are up there, there's no standing room, there's no shelf to stand on, there's no ledge. People are just
whoa.
It's not a jumping castle. It's not a actual thing that you're meant to jump off. Anyway. Lots of people will jump out and jump flat, and that's good. Some people go too far; they'll dive too far. Some people will jump straight, like feet first. The guy that just pin drop and broke both his ankles. But lots of people die from that as well.
Wow!
I can't remember what.
I wonder if they still do it.
They
still do it in 2022. When they do it this year.
What they do, people are up there because the entire centre squared, it's just packed with people. They get eggs, 24 dozen eggs or whatever, and they're picking eggs bottom, trying to, what are you doing?
Yes.
Peg people to distract them, to make it slippery to fall off. It's just off the hook.
That's got to be stopped, doesn't it, at some point in time?
You would think so.
At what point does something like that come to an end? What needs to happen there?
I can't, it's pretty crook. I mean, even running of the bulls in itself, like that bullfight, I did go to the bullfight and at the time, and thinking about it now, it makes me sick. But
I know, and even just thinking of stupid stuff that you've done.
Yeah.
Yes.
So much stupid stuff.
Yeah, and so many near misses. And I suppose we're one of the lucky ones, Maso, that we haven't done anything serious, injury wise, or long-term damage to ourselves. Who knows how many brain cells we've got left.
Well, I definitely don't think I'm right. I really struggle. Here's a picture. If you can see that, that's
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, for those, if you have a look on YouTube as well, you'll see that. I've just shown a little picture of what that
wow.
What it is. Yeah, it's pretty crook. We are lucky to tell the tale. And I mean, Breeza, how many people do you know who've died in a car accident as a result of alcohol?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yep, a couple come to mind, Maso. Yep.
Yeah.
Actually,
and may they rest in peace.
Yeah.
And I know this would be really triggering for listeners who have experienced that. Yeah. It's just shocking, and we feel you. And wrapping our big arms around you guys. It's
awful. It's all that what if, isn't it? That what if is a massive thing.
And remember that prefrontal cortex, because it shuts off, doesn't it?
Shuts off. Actually, would be keen, Maso. We'll have to get someone on here. I was thinking of someone from Bendigo Health. They've obviously got a busy ED on the weekends to talk about, what they are seeing on a normal weekend.
Yes.
With accidents that happen because of, alcohol-related injury and accidents.
Yeah, exactly. And what a waste of time and resources.
Yep. Yeah, we just turn into animals, don't we?
Ugh.
Another thing too I've sort of been thinking about, Maso, is the marketing that's revolved around alcohol. Is that when you see something's on special, or you might be able to buy one bottle, get one free, you go for it.
You're never not getting one.
So you're essentially getting sucked into these marketing campaigns. You're therefore buying more booze, which then leads to, potential more problems.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, in Australia, I heard this thing the other day about when you have people come over to visit, they pull it up calling, I'm visited it out. So if you're the host, you can say, all right, I'm visited it out. Everyone can shoot out.
Leave.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Which I really like. So people come over for pre-drinks. So they'll come and have drinks and then they'll go home to their own house and have dinner. Whereas in Australia, we stay till stumps.
Absolutely.
And then some. Do you know what I mean? Like we might turn up at 2 but won't leave until 2 a.m.
Absolutely.
We don't know how to. When did it all start in Australia? Why is our culture so heavily binge drinkers when...
Yeah.
Well, it's not only Australia, but Europe seemed to have a bit of a better handle on.
Again, Jill Sark's book.
There you go.
I can't remember if I've ear tagged it or not, dog tagged it, but she has a bit of a history of the drinking culture in Australia. So
there you go.
Actually wanted to read out something else that was in here with regards to marketing.
Yep.
It says a study conducted by the Cancer Council in April 2011 found that 116,000 children under the age of 17 tuned in to watch the Bathurst 1000 V8 Supercars events. Again, for our overseas listeners, this is the most famous racing car event in Australia. So it says in 2 hours of race coverage, and it's like people tune in from all over Australia and the globe. It's a massive day, massive weekend. So it says in 2 hours of race coverage, they were exposed to alcohol messages 106 times.
Wow.
They saw ads for Jim Beam, 4X Gold, Jack Daniels, wine and bottle shop chains, BWS and the Bottle O.
Yeah.
How mind-blowing is that?
Mind-blowing. And when you think about the merch as well, even Bintang, how often you go to Bali get a Bintang? Everyone wants or your VB shirt or whatever it is. And thinking about what Noddy's, when we had Anthony Hamilton on in our recent episode about AF drinks, he talked about how him as a young boy learnt that you had to be a real man drinks heavily.
Mm.
And so, because there's no escape from it. There's no ad saying keep off the gas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to still be a good human if you don't drink.
Yeah. And talking about Bali, May, so how many stories have you heard about people ending up in hospital in Bali because of alcohol-related injuries?
Too many. Yes. It's a shocker. Barry Crocker.
Yep. So I suppose in wrapping up, for 2022, just, take care of yourselves. If you're still drinking, and we're not, we always say we're not, lecturing you guys on to say never drink again. But if you are drinking, just look after yourselves and maybe cut back.
Yeah.
Instead of having, 100 beers on the weekend, cut back to 99. No, I'm kidding. Take care of yourselves out there because, bad stuff can happen to good people.
Exactly. And I think if you are deciding to get on that moped or that sidecar, please have us in your ears because this is just a last little stat before we round up, is that the most common alcohol attributable injuries were falls and motor vehicle accident injuries. So making up 41% and 70% of short-term harms respectively. So
wow.
So don't drink and drive. You're a bloody idiot.
Yeah.
Don't get in a car with somebody who is drinking as well. Like, that's a big thing. But, yeah, just think twice. Think twice.
Absolutely. And one of my friends actually tells her are they teenagers? They might be in their 20s now, her children. She says if you're walking home, like if you're, you've had a few to drink and you're walking home from the pub or wherever, walk on the grass.
Yes.
Because if you fall over and fall on the grass, it's not as bad as falling over and hitting your head on the concrete. Walk on the grass, everybody.
Yes, walk on the grass. I like that. And also, you should walk into the traffic because people can't. So, did you know that?
No, I always wondered.
Yeah, so always, because cars can't see you, particularly if you're in dark clothes, nighttime. You should walk towards the traffic because you can. Their headlights are on you as well, and you can see them whether they're going to be like.
Wobbling or whatever,
or the place you can get out of their way as well. So
that's a good little tip.
Walk into the traffic if you're walking along. Yeah, not too close though. Just be mindful. They can't. You've got to remember they can't see you. I actually had a friend pass away being hit by a car when he was walking with some friends home drunk. So may you rest in peace, Matty Colville. Good guy. He actually just had his birthday. I think he was in his 20s. But anyway, poor Matty, beloved praying boy. Yeah. So. Yeah, just be careful out there.
Get on the AFBs, people.
Yeah.
Get on the AFBs.
Get on the liars.
Yeah, get on the liars.
Yeah.
Heaps of choice out there.
Yeah. All right. Text regret comes from me. Yeah.
Maso's under the spotlight.
So my partner at the time had a very similar name to a very good friend of ours as well. And my very good friend messaged me to tell me he had slept with one of my friends. I actually thought it was my partner messaging me.
So clearly you were intoxicated at the time. Yeah.
So I thought he was messaging to say, I've slept with one of your friends.
Brutal.
So obviously I thought, yeah, wow, that's a bit much. Like that's like bang, straight in your face to have that. Don't sugarcoat it.
Don't say, so I've got something to tell you, honey.
Yeah, dang. So I was absolutely shocked, horrified. Obviously I've got on the text just like spraying my partner and he's like, what the hell? And then obviously I've realised what's happened then had to backtrack and yeah, it was a whole situation. But, yeah, just really when you read those messages, if you are intoxicated, just have a double take, have a look at those names, make sure the spelling's correct and, yeah.
And obviously emotions are heightened when you're blind as well. You just absolutely gave him full head noise.
Absolute spray. And in capitals too, shouting.
Oh, you
shouting.
But thank goodness it wasn't actually him that had texted you.
I think I'm still a bit scarred from it though. You can't come back from that little emotion that you've just pictured your partner and your friend together.
Your whole life's just changed in that one text.
Yeah.
Unravelled.
That clear picture in your mind. Anyway, so thank God. Good times.
Good times.
It's time for the recommendation of the week.
My recommendation of the week, because I don't do products, that's your sort of wheelhouse, Maso. I'm going to say to our listeners, in 2022, always go with your gut. Okay, so listen to your gut. And the reason I say this is because one of my friends last year was hit with a pretty significant health scare. And he knew something was wrong. So he's known something was wrong, well, for quite a few years actually, but he kept going back to the doctor and he kind of felt like a bit of a hypochondriac. But he kept pushing, going, something's just not quite right, something's not quite right. Anyway, eventually he had some, I think it was CT scans, and they found a mass in his body. So, it's pretty full on, but it was only because he trusted his gut. listened to his body and kept pushing that he got some answers. So if something doesn't feel quite right, I'm not saying with your health, I'm just saying in overall life, whether it's just a decision you've got to make or something you've got to do, if your gut's telling you something's not quite right or it's telling you no, go with your gut.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that it's all going to be okay.
Yeah, the next few weeks it's fairly critical. So fingers and everything crossed for him.
Crossing them all, but it's such a good call about following your gut because sometimes we ignore it, don't we? I've got this little saying: if in doubt, get out. Like, you know,
I love that.
So if you doubt something, I agree with the getting a second opinion with the doctors. I did the same with my dad, and we swapped doctors, and it made all the difference in the world. And because a lot of people just do trust the first thing that they hear, what doctor says, because we have such a high respect, they know what they're talking about, but essentially they're just guessing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you got to keep pushing, and it's the same thing. Yeah, I really hope that they're okay. Praying for them.
Same. Thanks, mate.
Oh, it doesn't really feel right to back it in with a product now. I'll go for it anyway. These are so good. I'm onto Health Lab, so I won't send you broke. This won't send you broke. These are a plant-based. They're filled with panna organic spread. I don't love white chocolate, but these are a little ball. They're like a little protein ball, and they're Neapolitan. Remember the Neapolitan ice cream?
Oh, hell yeah, yeah.
Now, actually, question. I did a poll about this on Lisk a little while ago. Are you eat the chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry first, or are you whipping through all the flavours?
Mate, I'm a strawberry dodger, so I'm I'm a spoon halfway down the chocolate and the vanilla kind of gal. Strawberry ice cream.
Well, I'll take your straw because
you're a straw gal.
But I didn't know this, but do you know that some people actually take all three flavours at once?
Yeah. I've witnessed it. I have witnessed it.
It blew my little tiny mind. I'm like, what do you mean? All three flavours. I only learnt this like 6 months ago.
Actually, if I've ever, I've probably given Napoleon.
Neapolitan.
Neapolitan ice cream to my kids once, and I've gone the three because I wanted them to have the whole experience. The three-way.
It blew my head, but it was pretty funny. It was really interesting because the people that are just a one flavour wonder are like, what do you mean you take all three flavours? Like it's a real Parma.
Right.
Chips on the side. Yeah, Parma. It's kind of one or the other. And anyway, back to the Neapolitan. So it's hazelnut chocolate filled balls, vegan friendly, gluten free, and they are so bloody good. Have a look at what they look like. They're little white chocolate with a little pink coconutty deliciousness and a little chocolate centre. And I cut them in half and then cut them in little quarters again, and they're just divine.
Where do we get them from?
Just your Woolies, just your local.
Oh, Woolies has come through with the goods again.
Yeah, I know. Look out. Pop that on your click and collect quick order. They're really, really good. So they're just with the protein balls and stuff like that.
Yeah, nice in the health food section. Hey, what have you been drinking today?
I've actually tucking into this Yes You Can. Okay, they are gluten-free. It's a little
Aperol Spritz.
Why do I keep forgetting that word?
Don't know, mate.
That's because I've probably had too many Aperol Spritz in my life and done a few brain cells. I'm sure of it. What have you got in your hand?
I have got it's called Upflow Brewing Co. They're an Aussie brand, and I am knocking back the ultra pale lager, which is quite delightful, I would say.
Nice.
I've got this I've got a what do I say? It's a non-alcoholic advent calendar that I had from back in December, and that's one of the beers in it. So I've been sort of working my way through those beers, which is
so good. That advent calendar looks so
it's good. Cool.
And where did you get those beers from? That advent calendar?
So, Brunswick Aces.
Yeah,
they're our boys. 10% off, guys, if you're doing an order on Brunswick Aces. Use the Disty code FLAUNT10, FLAUNT. Number 10.
Yeah, and you can use that over the bar as well. So good.
You
Thanks,
can.
Aces. Getting on board.
I hope everyone's having a good holiday if you're still on holiday. Get amongst it. We are back next week and we have got a juicy episode. Very juicy episode. We are chatting to Stace Voller.
Yes.
And we are chatting about dating sober when you're sober.
And she is a firecracker.
She is a firecracker. So you buckle up for that one.
Yeah. Can't wait.
You drop some absolute pearlers in there.
Yeah.
And her shame story is, I think, takes a cake. the most horrific, the most horrific shame story we've heard. All right, Maso, I'm going to tap out, my love.
Rest well, Breeza. It's great to have you back on board. Glad it wasn't worse. And yeah, good to see ya. Big loves.
Take care.
Happy 2022. Bye. Bye.
This podcast is proudly produced by our audio engineer, music extraordinaire, Eric Ladd.
We love you, Eric.